Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at a game versus Celestial, and we're going to be on Boneyard. So starting out, I'm going to be setting up my camera hotkeys. My apologies for not uploading yesterday. I'm recording a whole bunch of content today so that I can have it all scheduled out. I'm going to be going for bioplay this time around. This again was pretty early in the patch. I'm going to try and zoom through most of this older content so that I can get to the more current stuff, so I can be giving more accurate advice, but there's still some lessons to be had. First thing I'm checking for is if he's going for an additional collection array and if he's mining Therium. If he's mining Therium, that means he's going vectors. If he's mining just Luminite, that means he's usually going for Cree or Argent. I'm going to be trying a fast expand here, which again, this was pretty early on my journey, so I thought I'd probably be able to get away with it without too much concern. And I was right. You know, he's going for an expansion, and so he's not going to have any units out very quickly to be able to stop me from doing this. Typically, in the modern meta, you don't want to be doing expansion first. It's pretty dangerous, and you're probably going to get punished pretty hard for it. But because this was a bit older, I was fine to do so. He's going to use the Sovereign's Watch while I try and poke that battery, so I'm just going to back out. I'm just going to wait for it to end. And I'm just going to be adding more workers. He's going to get another morph core there, and that's going to be going into a building, I believe. He's going to be morphing that into a building rather than expanding again. Adding my barracks, and as soon as my barracks go down, I transfer 5 to Therium. Kind of similar to the Verse Infernal build that I've been showcasing, where you know, you expand and then go barracks and then go for Therium. I'm just going to be poking the battery, trying to be annoying, trying to see what I can get done, and I'm also looking for what he can see. I'm highlighting here that the energy, or the health regen rather, on Celestial buildings is absolutely insane, and so any type of harassment is not actually possible. That's part of the reason that they're so strong and rather unbeatable for Vanguard, is because there's no harassing, there's no run-bys, there's none of that. You can see it's already back at full HP. And so typically, unless you're actually out to kill something, it's not even worth attacking Celestial buildings at all, because if you commit to it and you don't get the building, it will be back to full HP in like less than a minute. So you can see I'm just coming up. I'm trying to spend some of that energy for the Argent. He takes a shot and he spends energy, and I also see it's a Star Forge, and that typically means vector more often than not. That could also be scythes, so it's more likely that it's vector though, so that he can have something to creep with and go around on the ground. I'm going to be adding my additional barracks here, and I'm still just adding workers. I see a second Star Forge here, so he's really ramping up his production. I'm just going to be taking another little look around, and I'm going to be heading back out. Meanwhile, I'm starting my exo production back at home to start in on bio. I'm going to be taking a look at how strong the creep camps are to see how fast I can kill them. Again, this is still pretty new into the patch, so I was just kind of taking a look at that. I'm going to get supply blocked here, don't worry about that. Nothing to see here. No issues there. I'll put down a sentry post in my main base, and this is because if he's going vector, vectors are very fast and very good at harassing. It only takes like 3 of them to kill a Bob worker. And that means, you know, if you don't have defense already set up, you're going to take heavy damage there. I'm going to be starting to take this camp, this health camp for the passive. In this iteration of the patch, the health camp did not give resources, but if you didn't know, you can kite like this. I do lose my dog on the map there, but it's not a big deal. The kiting is a bit more important. And I'm going to be adding my 3rd barracks. So like I said, you can shoot them and get out of range before they actually attack you, and so you won't take any damage, but since my new guys pop out, I just decided to take the full fight.
Capture point secured.
And once I've got that, I'm going to probably be sending one of those exos up because my sentry post is going to be finished. Remember, we're always trying to close out options that our enemies have, and if our enemy has the option of doing a run-by with vectors and getting worker harassment, we're going to try and shut that down by adding sentry posts or closing with units that can counter the harassment. So again, I'm going to be taking this camp as well. This is for the veterancy. You can see one of my guys just ranked up. That's 10% extra damage, 10% extra health, and 0.5 range. Very strong. And, you know, the resources are a nice side. In the newer patch, resources are a bit more important that are coming from the creep camps, but as it is, I'm supply blocked again. Don't worry about that. Don't look at that. No problems there. I see his army moving on the map. He just moved down towards my 4th base location on the south side. And so I'm just going to be continuing my exo production. You really do need a large group before you can go anywhere. Exos are pretty fragile. I've got 2 missing workers here. They were just standing there. They didn't reassign. I did tell them to go back to the to mining. I'm very confident of it, but whatever. And I'm going to be kiting this camp and just grabbing it. Again, this is just for the veterancy. Every unit gives XP, so it's very helpful. I'm going to be going up into tier 2 here. You want to hit tier 2 before you reach 100 energy. You don't want to have that energy just sitting there being wasted. You always want to be regenerating energy. And so going up into that tier 2 right before it hits 100, that's going to allow me to rank up my units and then all that. So there it goes. And you can see I'm going to rank them all up. I'm going to skip that one that's already tier 1. That's because it gives 1,000 energy. Promote gives 1,000, or not energy, XP. Promote gives 1,000 XP, meaning it's going to send him to level 2.
Capture point contested.
And to get to level 3 is a bit more than that. So if I were to use the promote on him, it would not take him to tier 3. It would take him up quite a bit into tier 2. And I believe it's better to rank up either straight to tier 3 or just to tier 2. Don't try from tier 1 to tier 3 and like try and get him to get some XP during the fight or anything. He could die, he could be the focus. So typically, you know, like I said, just ranking up those guys to tier 2 instead. We've got a pretty large bio ball, so I'm going to move out. And I actually try and commit here, even though he's got the Sovereign's Watch going, because that's the Kree building I just killed. I now see he's got Kree, and so I'm going to hightail it out of there real quick. Because if he actually just sent those in, he would probably win. I'm going to throw down another sentry post, like I said. He's actually going to scan that and see that, but I'm not too worried because I've got my roaming force here. This is still a pretty low amount of units to be roaming with, these exos. But, you know, if you've got good kiting, you can trade it out. He's going to be sending a morph core over. I'm actually going to snipe it. That was heading for the 4th base. And here comes some of the fight. I'm going to be focusing down the vectors because they do bonus damage, and I see he doesn't have the Kree upgrade yet. Without the Kree upgrade, he's not going to be able to catch me. And so if I focus down the vectors first, there's no units that can really damage me because I can just keep kiting. I'm going to hit another supply block, but we're not going to worry about that. There's nothing to see there. I'm just going to upgrade that instead. Anytime you hit a supply block, it's really not a bad play actually to... Oh, he sent another morph core down. I sniped that one as well, actually. I forgot that happened. And again, he's going to be coming out to try and push me off, and I'm going to be focusing the vectors. He's going to blink that one back. Very nicely done by him, because he picked up on what I was doing. I'm going to be moving my low HP guys back. And now that my guys are pretty damaged, I'm probably looking to go home or combine it with the rest of my new army. You can see I've got a few units at my 3rd base, and a few units at my natural. I'm just shutting down options for them. I've also got that sentry post at each one, so there's no run-bys that are going to happen or anything like that. My units get stuck on some trees here, a little unfortunate, but no big deal. And like I said, I'm going to end up combining my army. That's going to be the choice I go for. I had army everywhere, and if I stayed with that current army, I would just get overwhelmed. You can see the units rolling out on the map here. And my exo's actually going to chase after them. Not much to comment on here, just getting some additional supply depots, doing a bit of macro. I sometimes manually focus with the med techs who I want them to heal. And I actually turned off the auto heal, I'm not sure if you saw that. That's because I have Nano Swarm. Almost all of the units for Celestial are mechanical, meaning Nano Swarm can get some serious damage. And if you're in lower ranks, I recommend going Nano Swarm, honestly. You can see here, this guy can't split. This guy can't split. They do have that cleansing pool. I should be aware of that. That also cleanses shield. That's another tip I have for everyone. Don't ever use the shield the top bar ability shield that Vanguard has, any good player will just immediately cleanse it, and you won't be able to get any use out of it. It's going to be a waste of 25 energy. For Celestial, you're just going to want to promote your units instead. He's going to be going for Sabers here. I don't know what the plan was with that. Sabers are awful. They since buffed it. This was in the older patch, so they have buffed it since then. He's going to activate 3 Sovereign's Watch on the batteries, but since they're batteries, I'm just going to focus it down, and I'm going to close out the game. That's going to bring us up to 977. Okay, welcome to game 2. We're going to be looking at a mirror matchup in Isle of Dread. I, in fact, didn't even see the faction he was playing while I was in the loading screen. I was looking elsewhere, so I'm going to ask him. He's going to be very nice. Thank you to this guy for telling me. And because we're in a mirror matchup, I'm going to be going for a bit of pressure into some exos. This is stuff you can do at low ranks. This is not something you can do at higher rank. I was just kind of hoping to outright kill him with some of my pressure and all that. And so there are a lot of builds online and guides that say, you know, Lancer into expansion and Vanguard mirror and stuff like that. It's actually only dogs. You can only play dogs. You have to play dogs. There's no other option. And, you know, I knew when someone pulls all their workers like that and kind of chases the dog, typically, you know, unless they're trying to get a nice trap while I'm in the mineral line, kind of indicates to me it's not going to go well. I was also excited because he has not built anything, which means he's going expansion first, except I failed to realize he's just kind of new, which is why I'm able to pull this off. And he's going to be going for 2 barracks, even though one of them is not being built. You can see there he's just got one sitting there rather than actually building it. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I'm just going to be making a Lancer and I'm going to send it across the map. I'm just going to try and see if he's able to stop it at all, and see what happens there. I'm going to send 5 workers to Therium, and I'm going to add my biokinetics lab because I'm going into exos. I'm going to go straight into exo. Like I said, this is no longer possible. I'm actually going to miss where the healing fruit is. I thought it was here. It's a little bit more northbound. But I know there's one more on the watchtower, so I'm going to go grab that one instead. And there it is. Make sure you remember where the healing fruits are, especially if you're a Vanguard player, because those fruits, your dog's going to take a lot of damage while it gets scouted and stuff like that, and it's always good to have that. It's going to allow you to poke units a lot more as well and not be super worried. My biokinetics lab is already done, and I've got 2 Lancers going across the map, so I figured I'd just cancel that 3rd one and go straight into Exo. He's going into Lancers himself. He's got 2 barracks and a Lancer, and he's going to be making a couple more. So this harassment's not going to do much. He is pulling a few workers, and he's going to panic, make a sentry post. I feel terrible. I'm so sorry to this guy. He has no idea what he's doing. You can see there, I pull my workers and try and get us around. Doesn't work at all. Complete waste. Unless you're super confident in it. The dogs are pretty slippery. They're pretty hard to kill and all that. So you should be careful if you're going to try that, because you do end up wasting quite a bit of mining time. I'm just going to continue my exo production, and I'm going to go grab some creep camps. The speed camp gives quite a bit of money, and it's very easy to kill. So I'm going to start my quick draw hustle, get some more exos going. I'm going to go grab that camp for some additional money. My dog is going to grab the other health plant there on the other side of the map. And I'm just going to be continuing to macro. He's going 2 barracks Lancer, which means if I go exo, I'm just going to win, because you know, exos are very strong versus Lancers. They do a lot of damage, and they can be out-kited, so I'm going to be taking this camp here. I'm going to let my dog tank with no problems, because there's a healing plant right there, so I can just grab that. His dog's going to come around and kind of poke around. I'm actually going to try and go for it. Don't get it. Not a big deal. And because I got so many spare resources, I'm free to expand. The speed camp gives quite a few resources, and now that his dog's low HP, it was a good time to pull and try and kill it, because I actually ended up getting a kill. I did not mean to do that with the Exo. He just shot the plant instead of one of my units who needed it getting healed, but not a big deal. There are more plants around the map. I'm going to be supply blocked here. Nothing to see there. Nothing to look at. No problemo. And I'm going to be trying to pretty soon go up into my tier 2 as well. As I move across the map here, I'm going to be trying to pressure his 3rd base, or his 2nd base here, sorry. That's because I got quick draw hustle, and I know he's going into Lancers, and I also know he's not that good. Again, I feel so terrible. If this is you, I'm so sorry. Had to get out of this MMR at some point, and he's going for double mech bay. I don't even know what this is. I've never seen 2 barracks into 2 mech bay on 2 base. That's, you know. So these are the types of builds you can kind of get away with. I'm going to pull my dog out of the fight. You can keep your dog in the fight at the start, and then once he's tanked his damage and maybe done a hit or 2 and got some stuff going, you're free to just get rid of him. I'm going to be chasing his workers around while he frantically tries to get units out. He's going to be going for hedgehogs here, but the exos are just going to be, you know, able to take that out. My one Lancer stabs the other one. That's called treason. And I'm going to be going up into my tier 2. You can see there I got my tier 2. I mentioned in the last game you want to try your best not to have it just sitting at 100, so I'm going to go into that as soon as I can to try and get promoted on those units. I'm just going to try kind of chase around his workers. He's got nothing. I feel terrible at this point. But I'm just going to try and close out the game. He's pulling absolutely everything. I'm going to keep microing my 3 exos here. I'm going to let the Lancer tank. That's his job. I'm just going to be microing the Lancers or the exos, sorry. And back at home, I'm going to be adding additional barracks and getting additional exos. I'm going to be continuing my worker count as well. I'm already so far ahead that even if I didn't close out the game here, it'd be fine. But, you know, again, he's just, he's a pretty new player, so you can see one of my exos naturally promoted himself, and he's just going to leave. I feel terrible. I'm so sorry to that guy, but that's going to bring us from 977 to 1032. Thanks for watching.